Everyone, I am going to be introducing to you author SOFIA LUNDBERG, and we're going to be talking about her brand new book right here called The Red Address Book. And we're doing this interview before Christmas. It comes out right after Christmas on January 8th, and I felt so blessed to be able to read this early. It is amazing. You are going to love this book. I'm so excited because it's like the first book I read that's coming out in the new year. And I'm like, yeah, the new year's starting off strong, right? So anyway, here is Sophia. Hi everyone, I am so excited because I am speaking with author SOFIA LUNDBERG all the way in Sweden, and I'm in Pennsylvania. This is just amazing. And we are talking about her brand new book. I'm going to be putting this video, we're talking before Christmas, but I'm going to put the video out on its release day, which is January 8th, and she has a copy of it there, and it's called The Red Address Book. And I just got done with this book. I read the very last section this morning. I kind of saved it. I was going to finish it yesterday, and then I was like, no, save it till tomorrow, because I wanted to wait for the last, 20 pages. And, oh, God, I love this book. I cannot believe this is a debut novel for you. Can't believe it.
No, I like it too. I wrote it to myself, so I'm very happy that more people want to read it. I didn't expect that when I wrote it.
I'm sorry, we're getting a little bit of a break, but your writing is incredible. Seriously.
That makes me so happy.
I love the way you wrote this. I've never, and I read a lot of historical fiction, a lot of fiction, but I love this book. I love the concept of an address book. And I'm going to let you tell everybody, because I know the story. I read the end of the book and I know what happened. I know how you came up with the concept, but I want everybody to hear you tell it.
Oh, okay. So I had my great aunt Doris. Doris in the book is named after her. She was my best friend growing up, and we had so much fun together. She used to take me to do shopping and baking and cooking, and she taught me all the flowers and their names, and she was just amazing. She always had time for me. And when I was in my 20s, she was getting old, and she stayed at a nursing home for a short period, and then she stayed alone in her own apartment. And I was busy with life, as you are when you're in your 20s, friends and travels and studies and everything. So I think I went to visit her too seldom. And then one day when she passed away, I came to her apartment to clear it out. And we were, of course, very sad because I loved her very, very much. And then she had a small bookshelf in her hallway. And I started to clear it out because obviously I love books, so I was drawn to that little book. She mostly had crossword dictionaries and cookbooks, so no actual novels. But then I found her address book hidden on the shelf, and I started looking in it, and it was filled with names that I didn't recognize all of the names. I had never heard her mention them. I recognized a few, of course, her friends. But then she had crossed the names out, and she had written dead next to it with capital letters. And I could see that she was very old when she wrote the words. So she had been sitting in her apartment alone, going through the address book, trying to find someone to call. And, it broke my heart because I felt so guilty not being there. Like she had always been there for me. So this event, or whatever you call it, stayed with me for many, many years.
I just love that story because, my grandmother had an address book. I even had I'm 54. I had, when I was younger, of course, with, computers and phone, we don't need address books anymore.
No, you have everything on Facebook.
We have where to find people. We know how to find people. And, but I remember what she did was she would get a brand new one every year, and she would cross off the people as they died and then not add them to the following year. Like that was how she kept track of them. And so I was thinking when I was reading this book, and I was like, yeah, she never wrote dead. She just I would see them be crossed off as they would die, as she got older and more people would die. And then she'd rewrite it, she'd take that time to rewrite it. And, so yeah, I was like thinking all about her, and I was thinking about because of Doris and how you portrayed her and wrote about her. And I remember when my grandmother got sick, and I was in my 30s, and I had 5 children at the time. Did I have? Yeah, I only had 5. I have 6 children. I have 6 children now. I only had 5 at the time. Yeah, but I was busy. And we get busy. I was doing life, and she would call and ask me to come, and sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I know she's gonna die, but I'm good. I spent a lot of time with her, but I don't think we are good. I think we think that we're good or that we saw them enough, but then when they're not there, it's like that void. You're like, that void.
Yeah, it's really sad. So.
But it's sad, but it's like, it also was a reminder too. Like, as I was reading this, I'm like, yeah, it's a reminder not to get too busy, right? I mean, not to make those phone calls and to text. And now we can just text,
Yes, of course. And I think close relations are so important for how we feel.
Yes.
We're always searching for things far away, but maybe the most important things and people are just close by.
They're just right there. So you open the book up, and I love how you open this book up, because I am one of those people that pays attention to how an author opens, because they have to hook me to read the rest. That first chapter is so important, And you start off with her rearranging her table. Okay?
Yes.
And I love that, because
time.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, don't you always picture like my grandmother had a thing for every tiny little, and if somebody moved it, it went right back to where she.
Yeah, because she can't move that much. She's sitting there, and the table is her place to be.
Yeah.
Has to be perfect.
Yeah, and it's just so everybody knows, Doris is 96 in this book. I mean, she's not like just in her 70s or, early 80s. Like, she's 96. It's
really old.
Was your Aunt Doris 96?
No, she was 84 when she passed away.
Okay.
She was a bit younger.
So why did you want to make her so much older? Like, did you want to present that picture of her being older?
Well, actually, that's a good question. I never got that before. But actually, I wanted to, because she works at an artist called Gustav in the book. Mm-hmm. And Gustav is based on a relative of mine called Gan. He's an artist, a Swedish artist. And I had to make her older to make their lives fit.
See, that's what you get to do as the author. You get to decide, right?
Decide. And Gustav had a housekeeper that inherited all his art when he died. So I made Doris his housekeeper. So both sides of my family are involved in creating this book.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you end the first, I love how you end the first chapter. I'm going to read it. You say, in the margin, she has written it several times, one word, dead. And I was like, right, because it takes us into the address book and what we're going to see, as we read it. And what a great, I mean, it's just such a great concept to take through these people in her life. And, what a way to tell someone's life story.
Yeah, I was out jogging one day, and it was a period in my life when I was quite lonely myself because I had just divorced. Mm-hmm. And, you get a lot of alone time in the evenings, and I have one son, and when he fell asleep I was just like writing and trying to do creative stuff. And then one day I was out jogging, and it just came back to me what she must have felt and how lonely she must have been. And then I realized I could use the address book as a structure for a novel, so I ran as fast as I could to get him. I had to run so fast. I never ran that fast in my life. Because I didn't want the idea to go away.
Yeah, because it is. Yeah, because it is such a great concept. You're like, once you get inspired, right? You're like, oh, I got to do it. I got to write it. And
I have something fun to do in the evenings. So
yeah. Well, I love the ending, and it's not a spoiler, but your last line, when you say, "Did you love enough?" And then I was like. I was like, oh my gosh. First of all, I wasn't sure if you were actually going to write another book about Jenny. I didn't know if you were going to, You're smiling. Are you thinking about it?
Yes, I have a yes.
Awesome.
I might do that. I don't know. I have written 2 other books now, but I have a book about Jenny. Yes.
That warms my heart.
I've written some chapters, but I don't know if not everything becomes books. So we'll see.
Right, you have to see how it works out. But I did see it. I did see it coming.
I left some clues just to hooks to keep writing about it. Yes.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then when I saw that ending, I was like, it just is like, do you, like, isn't that the goal, is to, leave, like, when Doris, when she eventually, I don't think it's a spoiler to say she eventually dies, but, because she's 96. But, I mean, just to, like, she loved Jenny so much. And, I just, I loved their relationship, and I loved her advice, because, you don't have older children. Like, I have older children, I have grandchildren, right? Mm-hmm. And I will say to my daughter, who has 3 children, when I see her struggling with things that I struggled with, and Doris was doing this to Jenny. It was like, don't worry about, she'll say, oh, Mom, I got to lose this baby weight or whatever. And I'm like, oh, please. Like, that is the least. Who cares? Like,
I know.
But we have to get to a certain age to realize, like, it just doesn't matter. You think when you're in it, you think it's everything, and you're taking care of everybody else, and you think that it's this one thing, like, and then on top of it, I cannot eat cake. Like, what?
Of course you can eat cake.
Eat the cake. And, I bake for her all the time, and she'll say to me, this is not helping. And I'm like, yes, it is. You just don't know it, because you're having fun when you're eating it.
My mother always say, you shall not underestimate the effect of chocolate. It makes you happy.
Right.
Yes.
Don't underestimate comfort food either in the middle of the winter. Just eat it.
Takes a lot of chocolate this time of year in Sweden. Yes.
Yeah, right. Oh, right. And I love chocolate too. So. I eat a lot of chocolate. But, it's just those little advice that she would give Jenny, like when she sees Jenny, like, why, they would Skype, like we're Skyping, and then she would see her, like, well, what's the matter? I can tell you're stressed. I can tell, and then she'd tell her, and I used to always think, yes, that's so good. That's such great advice. Like, who cares? Who cares about the little things? It doesn't matter,
No.
Yeah, so that was just, I don't know how many times to tell you how much I love this book. So, you can get tired of hearing it. And I told everybody in the intro, I'm like, I don't know what to say. I connected with it so much that I was just like telling everybody about it. And it doesn't come out till the beginning of January. So, I can't wait to see what this does for you and your career, because I really see you just writing so many books.
Well, I hope it's a privilege to get to write full time now, because when I wrote the address book, I had a full-time job and was a single mother. So I struggled quite a bit to get it finished. And now I can use my days for the thing that I love the most to write.
That's
so
awesome. Yeah, that right there is
getting many readers actually changed my life.
Right.
It's fantastic. I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, and here you are in Sweden, I mean, and I'm here, and it's like books can just go viral around the world now. I mean, that's what's so amazing. Before it even is like officially released, all the pre-releases can go out and, and really help you. And, it's a great time to be an author, right?
Yeah, it's nice. But the best thing about the address book is that many readers, they write to me and they tell me that they started to visit their old relatives more. And I was happy for it when the book was released just in Sweden, but now I hear the same thing from a new country all the time. It's the same reaction, and that means that people are so much alike.
Yes.
And really warms my heart.
Yes. I know, you know what? If I had an older person, like both my parents, all my grandparents are gone, my parents are gone, but I was thinking the same thing. But I feel like I'm on the other end. I think it can hit the people that are older too, because we can, I told you, like, I looked at my advice and I was like, oh my gosh, I so relate to Doris, because I give that advice now. And it kind of like, for me, it was kind of like knowing that I'm right. you know, you kind of gave me the confidence that I'm right. That small stuff that I worried about, and I see the younger generation worrying about. It's like, it's so stupid. Have fun. It's Christmas. Who cares? You know, like, just, you know, it doesn't matter. So I feel like I'm more on Doris's end now, where I can just, like, you know, tell people, you know, not to worry, and just relax and have fun with your kids while they're little, and, you know, all that great stuff.
Yeah, that's important.
So you hit both to me, you hit lots of generations there.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Happy to hear that.
Yes. And I know on the book that you have, you only have I don't know if that ends up being the real cover, because that's just an advanced reader cover, but I do love the cover too. I think they did a great job with your cover.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah. I don't know if it ends up being that color. I forgot what it looked like.
Yes, it's the same color. It's the same color and cover.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think it's a little bit more text somewhere, but
awesome.
Okay,
so before I let you go, let's talk about
the
future.
Actually, I'm gonna get it any day now, so I'm waiting for the box to come.
It's gonna be your best Christmas present, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Before I let you go, though, like, what does the future hold? Like, what do we have to look forward to from you?
Well, I just released my second novel here in Sweden in September. And then I'm editing my third. So there's more books to come.
Okay, well, I'll have to get a hold of that one. I got to find out how to get that one. I'll be talking to your publicist on how to get that one. Then we can talk again. But yeah, I will be reading everything you write. No.
That's so nice of you. I actually got the idea for the next novel by reading the last. You mentioned the last words in the address book, and it's "Did you love enough?" And I was sitting here one evening, and I was looking at those words, and I was drawing with my pencil, and I just drew a heart, and I drew a question mark, and then suddenly I saw that the question mark is half a heart. So then I named it "A Question Mark is Half a Heart." And it's about secrets and about how it's difficult to love if you have secrets that the close ones doesn't know about.
I love that.
The story actually came from those words.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm so happy for you. I'm happy that we got connected and that I got to read this. And, you know, I will be putting all of your links listed below, plus the Amazon link where everybody can go and buy it today. They'll be able to buy it. And, you know, I can't wait to read your next book. So you know where to find me, and I'll be in touch. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much for reading and for talking to me.
Yeah, and you have a great holiday, and, you know, we'll see what happens in the new year. I can't wait to see what this book does. I'll be all over, you know, watching for it. So, happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you, too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was incredible. Oh, my God, I love her. We had a little bit of... you know, some lag time. Not bad at all, though. Considering, and all things considered, it really wasn't bad at all. I mean, just a little bit here and there, but I mean, for her to be all the way in Sweden and me here in Pennsylvania, it's amazing. Guys, go get the book. Everybody, go get it. All right, it is so good. You're gonna be happy you read it. What is with my talking today? You're going to be happy you read it. It is that good. I can't wait to read her next one. So all the links listed below. Please hit like if you liked watching us, and have a great day, everyone.